Hey guys, well, here we are, big project lesson number 2. It sounds like you guys enjoyed working on big project lesson number 1, and I enjoyed seeing all the different poems, although I tell you, with 304 of them, it took a while for me to make all of them into the posters to hang up, but it looks super cool, so it was worth it. So now here we are at lesson number 2. And on lesson number 2, we're going to be studying another artist, and her name is Ginny Holzer. And Ginny Holzer is another artist who likes to work with words, just like Adam Pendleton did. But instead of painting words on a canvas, like Adam Pendleton did, she uses light to make her words by using signs. So here is an example of one of her pieces, and you can see she's used like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these sort of advertising bars. You sometimes see these kind of, it's like a long bar and words can go across it, and you'll see it advertising things like sale, 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 or come in and get 20% off on a store or something. She uses those kinds of things sometimes to make her art. So this is an example of that, where she's put some words, and those words are just scrolling by on the those I don't know what to call them, electronic signs. I guess they're electronic signs. So she's got the words scrolling on these electronic signs. Here's another one of her pieces, and this time she's actually put the words up on a sign, an electronic sign that's on a building. And it's kind of interesting words too. Protect me from what I want. That's an interesting thing to say, isn't it? Sometimes what we want isn't good for us, like candy, or maybe we have a friend who we want to play with, but who's actually not a very nice friend. They're kind of funny sometimes, and they're kind of fun sometimes, but then they're kind of mean. So sometimes what we want isn't really what we want. So maybe that's what her sign means. Here's another one of her pieces where she is actually projecting the words onto a building. So she's got a really strong projector, and she's shining the words up onto a building for people to see. And then here's another interesting one she did. This time, she's not really using light on this one. She just put some unexpected words on like the marquee for a movie theater, where you would usually see the movie advertised. She's put some a little interesting message on there. And here is one more piece of hers where, again, she's got a whole bunch of those electronic signs, and she's arranged them all on top of each other, and she's got messages scrolling across those. So that's what we're going to do. I went and got a couple of electronic signs, and I'm going to hang them in the cafeteria. And while you're in the cafeteria, like if you're in there for lunch, you will see these electronic signs, and you will see your next work on those electronic signs. So what we're going to do is we're going to write another kind of poem. We're not going to be cutting out letters this time and doing it like we did before, where we were kind of imitating magnetic poetry. This time you can use any words you want, but we are going to use a certain format, and it's called a Where I'm From poem. And in a Where I'm From poem, every single line of the poem starts with I am from. So it starts with I am from, and then you put in something after the words I am from that comes from your life. Now, you don't just say where you're from, like the place you're from. You don't just say I am from Albuquerque and then stop there. That would not be too exciting. You can say anything that's about you. It's like if you love to play soccer, you can say I am from soccer. Now, in a way, that might seem like it doesn't make sense. Like, how can you be from soccer? But that's true. If soccer's part of your life, that's part of where you come from. I am from soccer. Or if you really love to eat pepperoni pizza with mushrooms on it, you can say I am from pepperoni pizza with mushrooms. Or if there's something special you get to do, like let's say you always go swimming on your birthday, you could say I am from swimming on my birthday. And you can also put in things that are important but sad. Right? We're not just from all the happy things in our lives. We're from sad things. Like about 10 years ago, my dad died. That is not a happy thing, but it is a big part of my life. It had a big impact on me. So I could put that in my poem. I could say, I am from my dad dying, or I am from losing my dog and not being able to find them, or I am from getting in trouble too much. It can be something. You can write things on your poem that are happy things as part of your life, but if they're sad things or angry things that made you who you are, you can write about those things too. And so something that's really, upsetting, like I am from my best friend moving away, you can put that. In fact, it's nice if you kind of mix them in. If you have some happy things in there and some sad things in there, it's up to you. You can make it all happy if you want to. You can mix it up with some happy things and some sad things in there too. But everything has to be from your life. But it can be anything from your life. It doesn't have to be a place that you're from. It can also be a thing you do or a thing you love or anything that's important and special to you. And I'm going to show you how to do one. I'm going to do mine in just a little bit. One other thing I want to tell you is that I'm going to show you 3 different ways to approach it. Sort of level 1, the easiest way, level 2, a little more difficult, and level 3, the most complicated way. And you can either decide which one you want to do, or your teacher might tell you to, right? Like if you're 5th graders, your teacher might say, I want all of you trying to do a level 3. So let me tell you what those are. One thing I love is chocolate. I'm crazy about chocolate. So a level 1 would be, on the paper it says I am from, and then there's a blank. I could just write I am from chocolate. That's level 1. I could though add in a detail and make it a little more interesting, which would kind of be level 2. So like I am from dark chocolate. That's a little more detailed, a little more interesting. That's kind of level 2. Level 3 would be something like I am from dark chocolate for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. All right, so that's, not only did I say chocolate and dark chocolate, but I made it sound even more, I love chocolate. I like having chocolate for breakfast, and after lunch I have a little bit of chocolate, after dinner I have a little bit of chocolate. I really like chocolate. And so a level 3 answer would be not just like a word or two, but like a whole sentence with some details in it. So there's kind of those level 1 answers, level 2 answers, level 3 answers. So let's go ahead and go to a desk and I'll show you how I make my I am from poem. All right, so here we are, and I've got my page here. It says Big Project Poetry. It's got a spot for my name, so I can put my name right there, Andy. And then it's got I am from, 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 I am from. So I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces to do this on. If you think of more than 6 things, and you want to start writing your own I am from down here and write some more, and turn the paper over and write some more, fine with me. If you don't think of 6, if you come up with 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, that's also fine if it's fine with your teacher. Now, your teacher might give you orders. Your teacher might say, you have to do all 6. Or your teacher might say, you can do 4, 5, 6, or more. Whatever your teacher says, that's the law. And teachers, feel free to change it. You can do this how you want to, how you need to. I hope you felt free to do that last time. I know some teachers did it with small groups, and I did it with my whole class on that last one. Worked pretty well, but it's really up to you. Teachers, trust your judgment in changing this. As long as I get this page with the kid's name on it. And kids, please write your name neatly. There were some of the last poems I could barely read your name. And so if you find your poem on the wall and I spelled your name wrong, it wasn't me. It's because you wrote your name too messy. So please make sure you write your name nicely. And make sure I can read what it says here too. And teachers, if it's a little hard to see, it would be helpful if you wrote in wrote in what the things are if it's too hard for me to see, because if I can't see it, it's a very difficult time to try to figure it out or to try to find you and find out what you were trying to say. So I'll do my best, but if you write messy, I'm kind of stuck. All right, so I'm going to start my I am from poem here. I'll start with that chocolate one. Remember, if I just wrote I am from and I write chocolate, that's like level 1. If I write I am from dark chocolate, that's sort of level 2. You got some details there. But if I write I am from dark chocolate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's level 3. So I'm going to start with level 3. I am from dark chocolate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, please don't write that. Please don't write, I am from dark chocolate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is my where I'm from poem. I want to know where you're from. Okay, so let's see what else. I played baseball and I played soccer when I was a kid. So I'm going to write that. I am from baseball and soccer. And I'm just going to keep it level 1 for this one. They don't all have to be level 3. I kind of want my lines to sound differently. So I'm going to make this one just say baseball and soccer. And then I'll go for level 2 or 3 on this one. And I'll go for sad this time. I am from, I'm 55 years old right now. So in those years, I have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've had 10 pets that have died in those 55 years. And that's a lot. And so I'm going to say that. I'm going to have that say, I'm from 10 pets who I'm going to say aren't here anymore instead of died just because I want it to be a little longer. Who aren't here anymore. And then I'm going to say another sad one. When I was 9 years old, my parents got divorced. So I'm going to say I am from parents who got divorced. And then I'm going to go happy again down here. I am from, let's see, I love hiking and biking and camping and all that kind of thing, and it would be fun to have all those ings in there, so I'm going to string out the ings. I'm from hiking and biking and camping and stargazing. And then on this last one, I am from, let's see, one more thing that's been an important part of my life. I know I told you guys about my dad dying, and that was important. But, I'm going to finish off with talking about how he was, my dad was one of my best friends. And so I'm going to just talk about, I am from a dad who was my best friend. And I'm sure I could think of more, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop at 6. So I am from dark chocolate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's kind of a level 3 one there. I'm from baseball and soccer. That's basically level 1. I'm from 10 pets who aren't here anymore. I'd say that's a 2 or a 3. I'm from parents who got divorced. It's a 1 or a 2. I'm from hiking and biking and camping and stargazing. That's probably level 2 or 3. I'm from a dad who was my best friend. And that sounds like a 3 too. So that is my I am from poem. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your finished I am from poems and I'm going to put them on our groovy new signs. And so that when you're in the cafeteria having lunch, people will be able to read your I am from poem. They'll all be strung together in a big group. And so people will be able to see your I am from poems in the cafeteria. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing your cool I am from poems and from seeing how they look hanging up in the cafeteria. And I look forward to seeing you at the next big project lesson.